Kiss was on tour for about 2.5 years, and when we stopped off in Amsterdam, our camera crews followed us, and we met a 13-year-old boy who was very proud of his grandfather for having survived the Holocaust and all the horrible tragedies. And he invited us to go see the Anne Frank home. Now,
He wanted to do an interview about you as a man, not as a rock star.
Yes.
He was more interested in you.
But
your history.
your mother.
Well, I must tell you in all
survived,
honesty,
right?
yes,
Exactly.
I must tell you in all honesty, I thought it was going to be an interesting historical kind of overview. Well, I walked in and I saw the big photos of Anne Frank, and it just tore me up.
Really smacked him
It just
in the
tore me
face.
up because my mother, bless her, was 14 herself when she was taken to the concentration camps of Nazi Germany. She was the only one that survived. These beautiful photos of my beautiful mother, if you take a look at it, that's about 1949. That's only 5 or 6 years after she came out of the concentration camps of Nazi Germany. And my mother is a saint. She continues to have this kind of faith in humanity that if I were in her shoes...
Like Anne Frank's
Like
mother.
Anne.
Like her
Exactly.
father.
Anne too. The way
Exactly
she
the
wrote in
same.
her diary that
You know what's interesting too about going into Anne Frank's room was she had American movie memorabilia on the walls, which we thought was so fascinating because, like, she was like this normal teenager.
I grew up in a household where most of my parents' friends had numbers on their arms. And from the time I was little, I was always aware of the Holocaust, and I was always aware that I was Jewish. And although we didn't practice as much as many other people, to this day, I'm proud to be Jewish. I think it's my obligation to all the people who for centuries have been persecuted. It's my obligation to make sure that their story is told, that my children know it, and that it never gets minimized or distorted. So I think all religions are great until they claim to be better than another or judge another religion. Spirituality and a love of God in its purest form is terrific. Religion can often get in the way of that spirituality and the purity of it. But that being said, you can ask me, and without any hesitation, I'm Jewish.
If you've never been to the moon, you can't issue policy about the moon. You have no idea what it's like on the moon. For a president to be sitting in Washington, D.C. and saying, go back to your 67 borders in Israel, how about you live there and try to defend an indefensible border, 9 miles wide? On one side, you've got hundreds of millions of people who hate your guts. On the other side, you've got the Mediterranean. Unless you control those Golan Heights, it's an indefensible position. It's a nice idea. When you grow up, you find out that life isn't the way you imagined it. And President Obama means well. I think he's actually a good guy. He has no idea what the world is like because he doesn't have to live there. That's why President Netanyahu, whose brother led the Entebbe raid and died crossing inter-country lines, breaking international law, landed in Idi Amin's territory, killed the local policeman, and freed those Europeans who were abducted by Idi Amin and crossed back to Israel. The UN condemned it. You broke air sprays. What would have happened if you go to the UN, most pathetic body on the face of the planet? By the way, America invented UN after the League of Nations was a disaster. This is a paper tiger. We allowed dictators to get up there and spread propaganda from Hugo Chavez to Gaddafi. It's garbage infested. And then when they want more money, they put their hand out to America. You all agree with every word I say. You know it. The biggest pacifist who's against the death penalty will immediately want to kill somebody who's got a gun to his mother. You walk in a room, you happen to come back from hunting or whatever, and there's somebody there. You don't want to find out why that person is deranged or if he's on crack. You want to kill him.
You don't want to
Let's settle down.
rehabilitate him? Yeah.
Let's talk about it. You should have a trial by jury. You and the courts you wrote in, you're gonna die, pal. Death on the spot. It's justice. I like that. You break into my house with a gun, I will kill you.
It's sort of Sharia law.
It's not. Women should be in charge, like the insect kingdom. You're much brighter than we are. You should have thousands of babies and be in charge.
You have my vote, except for the thousands of babies.